Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Tamika Francis. How are you today, Tamika?
I'm good. Just a little tired. I was up until 2, 3 a.m.
I was all still going down. I don't even know what time things are anymore.
Yeah. That live had me up all night last night. It's hilarious.
Oh, so good. And you guys probably know what we're talking about. We're talking about the live between Cash and Cinco and Wes and Amy and Giovanni. They were all talking, interacting, all of them, like in and out. Like this person was they're all talking, and then this person leaves, and this person's phone dies, and like a whole bunch of different back and forth and exchanges. We did get a little bit of tea. I didn't write it down, so hopefully it'll just come to my head. But there were some things that I thought was interesting that we learned with this live. So if you guys don't know already what we're talking about Love Island USA Season 3. I don't even know what episode. Oh, it's the exclusive episode number 5. But what was more exclusive was the fact that these people went live on Instagram for a very long time last night. And it was way more interesting than the show has been for the last week. Agreed?
It was basically the show. Basically all the important characters of the show. Basically everybody called it Love Island After Dark. It was, so far I've watched Sunday's episode and I've watched the Monday episode, and to me it was way better in both episodes. So I
don't know.
It got up to like 20,000 views. I don't know what the show was thinking when they let these people like go or not, like send them somewhere to like work their shit out, or get Giovanni a person so that he could meet them up. I don't know, because these people are the show, and what we're watching on the show is BS.
It's BS. It is BS. And what I've found with watching these Instagram story lives is that this should be what's on Paramount Plus.
That's what I'm saying. They had extra content hours. They should have sent all the Casa people together and put them in a whole house, and then all the people who got eliminated, send them to a whole house so that they could work out their shit. Like there was a way to salvage this. I don't know what they were thinking.
This is the thing, is that I feel as though they're trying to be in alignment with how they do it in the UK. So they believe that they have a UK producer that is kind of showing them like, this is how we do it, this is what we do. But then they're not fully following the format of the UK. They're kind of Americanizing it, which is fine. If you want to make it your own entity, and is kind of like lend from the other show, like the UK version, that would be fine. So then you can take a step forward, like you're saying, and have like an After the Island house. And so I would love to be watching a live stream, going inside, seeing the people that have been dumped. They're still in sequester, basically, and we just get to be a fly on the wall with them. Like, maybe then they still get to interact with people online, but they still have to stay in that house with each other, which would be kind of really really cool, and maybe more relationships would start happening. But I 100% agree with you that like they threw away all their content and gave it to Instagram.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, I'm happy for all the characters. People. I'm going to stop calling them characters. They're people. And I'm happy for Cash. I'm happy for Cinco. I'm even happy for Giovanni, because I think at this point, they can start using the platform that they've been given to make things happen for themselves, because it like basically the show squandered them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's say hello to everybody. Hi, Latoya. Hi, Earth Angel. Brandy, hey, Ms. CRM. Hey, ladies, didn't care to watch Monday's exclusive, so can we talk about the Love Island After Dark? Yes, we got an IG last night. It was lit. Tamika, very fortunately, was able to record a little bit of that, and so she sent me a couple.
I actually have the whole thing. I realized when whatever I sent you, it must have shortened each one, so you notice that it's only like 13 minutes each. I have the entire thing. I even have the part when it cuts off, like Cash's phone died or something, and then we went back into her live, and her and Cinco were like making out on the side.
I think I saw that live. But
Yeah.
Okay, well,
because I don't think a lot of people actually have that part because they didn't all go back into her thing right away, and I was like the second person that went right back in. So like I have that entire sequence. Absolutely hilarious.
So if you can send that to me, I'll upload that the whole.
I might have to email it to you because
use WeTransfer might be good. WeTransfer, you can transfer large files. It might become too large of a file to send that way.
Okay.
Or I'm like, we're not close enough to do like an airdrop.
I know.
Yeah, either email or WeTransfer or like transfer big files or something like that. Or even maybe Dropbox. I don't know, whatever you use, it's easy. Email, I guess you can do like Gmail Drive.
Oh, I can upload it into Google Drive and I'll send it to you.
Cool. I mean, it's been getting a lot of views. People are very much enjoying it. So I thank you for doing that. And so we can share that with you guys. And I'm going to actually make an effort to try and gain that content. We have been talking about maybe going live when we see, if say like at 4 p.m., say that they went live, I would stream it and we can just talk about it and watch it together live. That's something that I think could be really fun if the timing works out. Hi, Charlene. All right, don't forget to, thank you, Earth Angel. Please, yes, everybody give a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, just subscribe. Subscribe right down below. We love Love Island. We love Love Island After Dark even more. And we just want to talk about that show with all of you guys. So please subscribe so you can do that with us. Lit, yes. Hi, Island Girl. How are you? And I can't tell what it says because I'm not wearing glasses, but maybe tan? Okay, I'm not sure. Cinco and Cash was so cute. I know. And so the reason why Cash is with Cinco right now is that she originally was just going to do her layover with Cinco, but she had put all of her items in storage. And so she didn't have really an apartment to go back to. So she's kind of hanging out with Cinco indefinitely, which to me says that that's kind of a relationship vibes, right?
Yeah.
Because like,
they're not putting a name on it, and I think they're not putting a name on it because they don't want to pressurize themselves. But those two are together, guys. Like, if you didn't see the live, those two are together.
Yeah, a lot of close talking. Like, are they kissing? Are they talking? What's going on? I'm like,
he was muting. What he kept doing was he was muting, and they were like talking and like kissing, and then coming back.
It was really nice to see. One thing though that Cash was saying that I thought was interesting was A, she wants us all to still watch the show. And B, I don't know if I believe this, but we'll just take it for what she said. But she felt that she would have left anyways if she wasn't dumped. She felt it was her time. So
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, I remember that part.
And so I think that she would have stayed if she was chosen to stay. I don't think that she would have forced herself to leave if she wasn't dumped at that time. I think she might have just been saying that to save face, but she did mention that. And so that is interesting to look at because a lot of people are saying, like, I think that the producers like orchestrated this because she wanted to go. I still don't fully believe that, but it kind of lends to that narrative a little bit if like she wanted to go and they just made it easier for her to kind of bow out.
Yeah, so what it sounds like to me based on because I feel like Cash is a genuine person, so I think this is probably what she was feeling because she said that so if you missed, the tea is she did not have a toothache, guys. She actually had her tooth pulled that day, was on an anesthetic or whatever it is, and so she wasn't filming basically that day. She had a sick day. So I think what happened is, and then she came back around and she had that conversation with Charlie, right? And she was saying that, you know, she had that conversation with him and she was just realizing it was like that past few days, she kept saying Cinco's name instead of Charlie's name. And then he kept like not giving her anything. And then he was flirting with Alana. And so she just felt like at that point it was like her time to go. And so I really do think that she feels like that it was her time to go, and that because of the way things were going with him and with her head, that she probably would have bowed out. I don't disagree with her, because I could definitely see her saying, you know what, this is it. He's not giving me what I need. And I keep saying this. If you watch the Late Bear episode, he was not giving her what she was asking for. He was not he was nowhere near giving her what she was trying to get out of him. And the problem and the crazy thing about that is, I really do think as a couple they could have worked if he would have worked with her. But that's why I keep saying I don't feel like he ever had any intention of staying with Cash long term, especially the way he's been acting these last couple of episodes. But I think just based on that, he was not giving her, because even last night on the live, Wes said it best. He's like, so wait a minute. All the guys were telling Charlie. So the tea is also that apparently when Charlie got into the villa, all the guys was like, he was like, I'm here for Cash, and all the guys is like, that's nice, she belongs with Cinco. Right? And he, instead of saying, I'm gonna prove to you guys that I am here for Cash and she belongs to me, and graft for her in a way that makes it like unexpectedly clear to people that it was her and Charlie, he did the opposite and let her basically stay stuck on Cinco. And so at the end of the day, I really do feel like I understand her point that as the trajectory was going on, the relationship never built to the part where she would have wanted to stay with him, unless he was giving her something. He would have had to give her something.
Well, yeah, she would just want the same energy she got in Casa Amor, and the same energy that made her pick him. Because
Right.
if he was giving this energy at Casa Amor, she would have been like, yeah, he's not interested in me. I'm gonna go and maybe make a connection with Cam and see maybe what's going on there, or some of the other, well, not Andrew, but some of the other guys. She might have given them a chance, but he was giving her big D energy, being like, I'm gonna fight for you. I came here for you. And so she took him for his word and went back to the villa, and then he turned into some sort of soft whimpering over the fact that oh, you're still hung up on we always talk about Cinco, I can't cuddle you now. It's like,
meanwhile what? He keeps talking about Cash. I'm dying at it. How can you sit there and say that, and then you're doing the same exact thing to the next person? Hilarious.
7 times, Earth Angel. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard, but Tamika has the full thing, because she already sent me a few bits, and I just thought that she maybe she could only record in 15-minute intervals or something like that. So I just didn't even think anything of it. But if she has the whole video, I will post the whole video later on. Do you know if there was any other music? Because I realized that Amy had music at the beginning of hers, and YouTube obviously was up in arms for it having a bit of music. Do you remember if there's any other music?
I don't think so.
If they were talking,
I don't think so, because the beginning part is when it was primarily on Amy's, and she and then her phone overheated, and then we went to Cash's, and then they came on Cash's. So it might be that's why her music was more picked up in the background, because I don't remember towards the end I don't think they had any music in the background.
No, there wasn't nothing when I was listening to watching it. There was no music. It was only when the Amy portion she was playing. Was it Juicy?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, they flagged that. But anyways, I'm excited to post the whole thing, because that's awesome that you have the entire live. I want to see the whole thing, because I didn't watch the whole thing myself. All right, we all knew Cash was happy, but how cute was it to see Cinco blush so much? I like watching the cuteness. And, there's nothing that, to me, that felt contrived about his adoration of her. You know what I mean? We'll say Will and Kira, for example. I know that he's saying the right thing, and he's looking at her in her eyes, and he's smiling and calling her Chiquita or whatever. And it seems genuine, but there's something that doesn't seem sincere about it to me. There's a lot of sincerity I find with how their interaction is, and that makes me feel really good because a lot of people have been saying that, like, oh, he doesn't really like her, like she's gonna go try and get a man that doesn't want her, and I'm just like, he seems like he wants her, and I'm happy with that.
So they're still saying it, and I realized what it is. It's Trina stands, also Will and Kiera stands. That, in my opinion, the entire time they were like, they hate Cash, they want Cash to go. Cash is the problem with the show. Cash is gone, but yet they're still talking about Cash and Cinco. And they keep trying to I have a screenshot of one person's tweet, like, that they're like, oh, look at him and Trina. If he had just given them a chance, they would have, they could have been a good thing. And I'm like, he never had any of this energy for Trina, like, at all. And they're like, oh, he's not even kissing her. She's all on him. But that's what he likes. We've said it. How many times the last couple of episodes have we said Cinco likes it when a girl is overly affectionate, on top of him, always showing him that she wants him. And you could tell he absolutely loves it, that's how she is.
It just was like very nice to see. And he was starting to, like, they're not there yet, but like they're starting to rival, we'll say, a little bit Wes and Amy, like their amount of affection that they have so soon, like Wes and Amy, like I really think that they're kind of a long haul couple for sure.
Oh no, the fact that she went to Denver, because she was like, no, he's got to come to LA and I'm not doing that. And then her behind right to Denver, Colorado within a week. I was like, okay. No, she got it for the man. And they were very cute last night. I really like Wes. I like every time I see him on a live and he talks about, and I don't think it has anything to do with his Harvard education, because even there was points where I agreed with Cash on that conversation where they were having about who you're meant to be with and who you think and want on paper. Right? I totally agreed with Cash on that. But I understood where Wes was going with it. But there's a lot of other conversations Wes has had that I'm like, he is so intelligent. Like he understands a lot, and he just he doesn't just understand. He's able to translate it to you so in a way that you understand his viewpoint, whether you agree with it or not.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, like, he's such a catch.
Yeah,
she's lucky to have found him and give it and like drop the idea of Jeremy and like go to him. Like, imagine she was still hung up on Jeremy.
Yeah, what? She said Jeremy who?
Yeah, he was just like, I don't even think he let it faze him, the fact that she was into Jeremy.
At all, but that's what I'm saying. That's what the energy that Wes gave with the whole Jeremy Amy situation is the energy that Charlie should have had if he really liked Cash in that way. And that was the one thing I do, and I want to do a tweet about it. Cinco really likes Cash. And you can tell because when she screams, when she talks over him, when they're playing around, he still looks at her like the sun and the moon and the stars ends with her. And that is what you want in a person that you want to be with. And I see now even more why she wants to be with him, because he accepts her. Like, he doesn't act like she's annoying. Like, even when she's being annoying, even on purpose, he doesn't act like she's being annoying, right? So that's like a whole thing that people don't understand. Just to be accepted for who you are in a relationship is a big deal. It's absolutely a big deal.
Oh, it's so lovely. Yes, Charlie, we want to bring them back to the Love Island / so do you know what though? I like this unedited content more. I want to see more of their lives. I think they're going live on tomorrow. I forget, maybe 5 p.m. Eastern, making that up.
It's tomorrow. They said they're going to go live, and this time they're going to bring in Shannon and Josh.
Right, which is like, hopefully Josh is going to be in an okay state to be able to have, some conversations, but it would be nice to see them as well, because like I do think that, yeah, maybe they weren't my favorite couple, but they were very, very, like, their presence was there, that energy was there, and I do think they would have won the show had they stayed. So I'm
Yeah.
very sorry he had to leave, obviously, and like I expect him to leave, and so it will be nice to see them work on their relationship together, because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, Shannon doesn't really like him, and like, she stood by him in this moment. This is definitely going to solidify their relationship for at least the next 6 months or so, because like going through stuff like this is life changing.
Yeah, no. I threw that Shannon doesn't really like him out about when Isaiah came in, and I was like, and she was like not paying Isaiah any attention. And Isaiah really wanted her, and he's even said it in interviews later. He really wanted her.
He doesn't have any like swag.
Yeah. Like if she was playing a game, she would have left Josh for Isaiah. I think. I just think that they were able to get past that and build something. And I did not realize they were the same age, actually. I thought he was younger, but they're the same exact age. They actually did a After the Island interview that I was just watching. I didn't finish watching it yet. I really cannot stand Elizabeth, and like it takes me so long to sit there and pay attention to these interviews.
It's very interesting that like this is the regular like sentiments of people that watch the After the Island, even people that like, so I listen to all content like on YouTube, especially like anybody that's covering Love Island or Big Brother or like anybody that does it. I follow them all and I support them because I want to build, as I'm always saying, this community. And so even someone that like I don't like have any sort of interaction with, she's like, oh man, I try to watch the After the Island thing because so and so was on, and like they're so boring. And I'm like, wow, even you think that they're so boring? Man, I thought that I was just being like a hater, but like
no, you're not. They're terrible. And it's like, and these are two people that they really like. And they Elizabeth had all sorts of snide comments about Cash. So I want to see how she's gonna act with Cash when Cash comes.
Like with Shannon and Josh, or just in general this season? Like
just in general this season, stuff that they said, like she was sure that Cash was gonna get dumped. Let's see, when Isaiah came in.
Wow. Well, yeah. There was a time where she's like, "There's no way that Cash is the most popular person in the villa." I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, are you the same show?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think she's coming from the place that I feel like if you watch what's going on with the UK on Twitter and stuff, it's from that place that people like Cash and Kaz make people uncomfortable because they're beautiful Black women that are confident, and then God forbid they get more than one guy. God forbid that guy is popular or handsome himself or very, very good looking, and keep getting those guys over and over again. It makes frankly white women uncomfortable, and makes some pretty Black women, light-skinned Black women, uncomfortable. And so that's just what I've noticed, an observation in general.
I can totally see it from there, because it's kind of like well, if we're talking about just like say with them pretty Black or light-skinned women, like they, even from back in the day when it was, the slave era, I've talked about this before with colorism, and especially because my grandmother definitely suffers from colorism. She's super light skinned. Like both of her parents are mixed. So like she's way lighter than me. And like she likes me because like I'm not too dark. And this is like my own grandmother, like my mom's mom. Like this is the energy that she's bringing up. So it was also like in those slave times, like the lighter skinned Negro would be able to be the house N-word, and they would be able to, do a little bit more classier things as opposed to being out in the fields in the time of slavery. And so that classism kind of is filtered into how even Black people look at other Black women and compare themselves and whatnot. So just as Black women, I can see like, oh, like I'm supposed to be doing better than them. Like, look how pretty I am and my skin color. I'm supposed to at least do better than a darker skinned Black woman with low hair. And so that's with that. And then just like obviously many white people in general are overall Black people feel that they are a step up and better, and like we should only be getting the scraps. We shouldn't have like the choice.
I keep using that word. I'm like, y'all are just mad because Cash and Kaz ain't sitting there worried about nobody's scraps. And I said the same thing about, I feel like Matthew is the Charlie equivalent over there on the UK. He did not do anything to get Kaz. He just made sure to get himself into the villa and stay there and wait for somebody to come for him, and then pretended to be mugged off so that it made him look favorable to everybody, and everybody believed it. Meanwhile, again, the women in the villa is like, he hasn't done anything for you. Like he's not pulled you to talk. He's not done anything, but we don't see it until we see the unseen bits. So it's like, and then half the people, when you look on Twitter, everybody's like, go see the unseen bits. Oh, I haven't watched it yet, but I can't imagine it would bring any more context to this. Yes, it did. He didn't do anything. He sat there and did not talk to this girl the entire time of the show. So you're seeing the same thing happening. And I feel like the issue is also the response of the editing and the producers, because they did the same thing with Cash and Charlie. We're seeing the girls are saying on Laid Bare and the drops and the Monday night exclusive episodes that the general public does not watch, that Cash is not getting anything from Charlie. Charlie's not talking to Cash. He's not hanging out with her. He's not doing what he should be doing for her to forget about Cinco. And then we're seeing on the main show that it looks like she keeps talking about Cinco.
Absolutely. And I find it interesting, though, that how they edited it for the general public, which are the people that will not be necessarily liking Cash, right? They don't edit her in a good light for those people, which I think is pretty shady, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, I haven't been back on the Facebook group in a while. I muted it for a while because it was hurting. Between Twitter and that, I could not have both. So I was like, I'm always on Twitter, so I need my peace of mind. I had to let one of them go. But I need to go back in there and check in on how they're doing now that Cash is gone from the show, because to me, the last 2 episodes have been horrendous to watch.
What was that? Like 3 hours of my life I can't get back, and like I only have 2 pages of like well-spaced content to talk about for like last night's episode, which is like, it shouldn't really be like that. And I only wrote stuff down just to like go through it, but it wasn't something that was compelling. Like, I don't even remember what happened, which is not great. So Earth Angel says a lot of haters are still saying Cache is pushing herself on Cinco. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Cinco's a grown man. And there's no way a grown man would allow a woman to come and stay at his house with his family, meet his parents, eat food with them, like do posts online with her and him and his dad. Like, there's no way that would be happening if he just wasn't that into her, right? Like,
again, and I hate to bring them up because the comparisons keep coming. Not even Caleb did this, people. Caleb never introduced this woman to his family in person that we know of.
No, he didn't. He did not. That was the big thing, is that, you know, they saw the picture of some random new girl with the family wearing Christmas pajamas.
Right. And she never got to meet. I think she might have met the dad because she went to, when they went to go visit Weston, she went to Nashville, and I think that's where his dad is. And then they drove to Weston in Texas. But other than that, she didn't meet the mom. She didn't meet the sisters. She did not meet his family. You do not
going out for dinner.
She moved in, people. Cash has moved in with Cinco. Hello.
Well, like, look at this. The same thing as doing with Wes and Amy. Like, they want to be around each other so much that she's moved across the country, and she's from she's from LA. LA people don't go to the cold. Like they're just like.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when I said, "Wait, she went to Denver." I was sitting there waiting for him to go to her. When you told me she went to Denver to go visit him, I'm like, "Oh no, see, this is serious."
And the fact that he's also cooking vegan food for her is another very good sign that Wes is very much into Amy, because, like, you know, to want to make sure that she's happy and, like, it looked beautiful with the things that he's been making her and stuff like that, and wanting to learn more. Like I love both of those couples. They're just great. Now Giovanni just needs to be perfectly matched with Selly. Cash needs to move into the same apartment as Justine and Selly, and that's how life is gonna roll. Cinco's gonna also move to LA. Like, they're gonna start at Love Island, like complex, kind of like Melrose Place. They had to just do that. I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but we need an After the Island complex where they all go and play, and they all just.
This should be After the Island. Like, we should be able to see them, check in what they're doing now. That should have been After the Island. This bull crap that they have on YouTube is not working.
Hi, Alexandra. Thanks for joining today. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Sans. Ms. Love. Everybody's here today. Yay. Hi, Shiana. All right, so they are having fun, so people need to chill with that mess. Cash said no pressure, but I'm enjoying what they're giving us, and I'm just frustrated that people just won't even see what's right in front of them.
Yeah, but it's like you said you didn't want her on the show. She's off the show. You said you didn't want her with Charlie. You said for her to go back to Cinco, because remember I told you about 2 weeks before they all left, all of a sudden they were all into her and Cinco. She needs to just, but then now you're still critiquing what she's doing off of the show. How are you one of the 20,000 people watching their live when you said you hated her and they want nothing to do with her?
They watched it for Giovanni because they thought that Giovanni should have stayed. Hi, Adrian. People are saying Corey is a virgin. Not that it matters, true, but people are saying his behavior in the hideaway was a dead giveaway.
Not to me. That was a giveaway that him and Olivia are faking this shit for the show. That's what that said to me. The fact that they did not sleep together like that tells me he's going to be coupled up with Florida once he comes out of the damn villa.
Yeah, I do think that they're playing for votes. What do you think, though, about the fact that Cash was really supporting Olivia here, saying that this is my best friend? I know that she was timing with off, and this is the first that they were able to explore their relationship. What do you think about her riding for Olivia in this way? And
the best thing about Cash, I feel like, that came across to me the entire live last night is that she is the same person we were watching on TV. She is genuine. She loves all these girls, and she believes all of them. And she like when people were when they were all talking about the Will and Kira thing, and the Will with the Flo, and the Will and Kira knowing each other, and just if you looked at Cash's face the entire time, she's like, really? Like she could not believe, like, it was not in her head space that people could potentially be doing that. She just comes across to me as she is so genuine as a person. She does not see if a person is not genuine, because to her Charlie, it's not her fault. It's not all Charlie's fault. He needed something she was not necessarily able to provide. He was not able to provide something to her, and she feels like he did what was best for his heart. And I'm like, girl, he used you. But again, she just comes from a place where she believes everybody's so genuine. So to her, Olivia's her bestie. She feels like she saw them flirt. But even based on what she said they were all flirting in the villa the entire time. She flirted with Jeremy. She didn't need nothing by it. That's what I said a few episodes ago. I think their flirting basically turned into, like, I gotta be with somebody at this point. Might as well be with you, and you're my friend. I don't think
still believe that Olivia, not directly, but indirectly wanted Cash out, and that she orchestrated that Corey and her would be able to get together because saw that Cash and Corey were able to be saved when she was in the bottom. So I think that A, she wanted Corey to save him, and B, I think that she thought that if Cash isn't there, she would most likely be in the number one spot or like get all the Cash votes, and she might be able to win with Corey. So I don't know if I totally thought that out, but I do think that there's a part of it that was a little bit self-interested in her.
Yeah. At the top of the show, she even says it that her and Corey, she's like, "Oh, they think that we're here for their bullshit," and I'm like, "We're not here for your relationship. We just wanted Jeremy and Charlie gone. Like we didn't vote for you." But somebody said last on Twitter, Reddit peeps love Kira and Will, Facebook peeps love Corey and Olivia, and Twitter is pulling for Trina and Andre. And I think that is where we are currently with the voting. I'm not sure about Instagram. Instagram, I think, is a bit mixed. But I feel like that's what we're seeing here, is that I think she thought that her rightful place would need to take over when Cash was gone. And I agree. And you see she's kind of acting like her, using some of her mannerisms. It's not coming across to me. That's why I'm not voting for, I like Corey. I'm not voting for him. I wish he was paired with somebody else that I could vote for him. I'm not voting for him. I'm not voting for him, and I'm not voting for Olivia, and I'm not voting for Will, and I'm not voting for Kira. I'm voting for Trina and Andre, because I know if I'm going to vote for a fake couple, I at least want to know Andre's little girl, she could go to Disneyland. She could go buy a plane if she needs to. Let's go take care of the little girl. I'm not voting for these people. No.
I totally get you. And it's interesting, though, like they keep on shying away from it on the Instagram lives. But a lot of people are like, so what about the fact that Olivia and Shannon and Josh are all Trump supporters? Which I think is also very interesting, that I would like to hear what their opinion is about it. Like, I do feel 100% that you could be friends with anybody from any political beliefs, because like you don't know why they choose, like what values that they would be gaining from particular candidates. But it is rather polarizing, though. Like, I don't know if like they have like a MAGA hat or anything like that, like to go so far as that. But I find it funny that Giovanni's like, no politics, no politics. And I do want to hear what they have to say.
So Giovanni's already said that he doesn't care, but he's also said that he doesn't care about Olivia outside the villa anyway. So, but he's not going to be looking to try to get with her or whatever. He's done with that relationship. But he said he feels like in the villa, the two, and somebody else said the same thing. I think maybe Florida and one other person said the same thing. They do not talk about politics in the villa. And so that was part of the reason, I think, why. So everybody's saying she's supposedly a Trump supporter, but she's not there to say if she is a Trump supporter. So I think their thing is, this is my friend. At this point, they feel like they are family, and they've said it like 50 billion times. They want that person to come out and state their views themselves. So they said, listen, Shannon and Josh will be here Wednesday. You guys asked them that question on Wednesday, which I didn't have a problem with. Again, people are on Twitter, I noticed, especially a lot of people who I'm not even sure if they're even from this country, keeps trying to point out that Olivia and Christian and Shannon are Trump supporters, as if this should change whatever's going on, the dynamic of, well, Cash is Olivia's best friend and Olivia's a Trump supporter, so you should not like Cash.
To me, is how the votes are going down. That's
right.
What I'm looking at, is that Facebook would be more in alignment with somebody who is a Trump supporter. So that's how I'm actually looking at it. And I'm curious if this is something that has come up with them before, just like it is something that I'm like always like interesting. Okay, why do you make that choice? Like I'm very open, but a lot of people aren't. So I would be interested just to see people have a little bit of a debate and see if they would be able to do it in, you know, and still love each other like family. You know, I wonder if
Yeah.
it would like
But,
I'm curious.
but that's what I'm saying. I know a lot of Black people, Hispanic people who voted for Trump because they thought that it wasn't a political move. They don't care about social issues. They care about money, and they thought he was going to bring money. Meanwhile, me, who's from the East Coast, from New York, living in New Jersey, who has known Trump how many years? The man bankrupted Atlantic City, bankrupted New York City, and I'm like, the man has filed bankruptcy how many times? What money is he bringing to this country? Please let me understand. On top of that, he's a damn racist. You can't tell me any different. So that's just me, but I also know it's not strictly white people who are going for Trump, though. So that's my whole thing.
I do want to see what they have to say, but like it's just not really going to change. Like if I was my friend with Olivia and I found that, I would probably ask her like, why do you have these views?
Right.
And I don't think it would make me not want to be friends with them.
But that's what these people want. They want Cash to stop being her friend. They want Giovanni to not be her friend. They want Cinco and Wes and whoever to not be her friend because she's a Trump supporter. And I'm trying to explain to people, if that's what you think, especially if you don't live in America, if that's what you think is going to happen, I have news for you. We would have lost a lot of friends by now if we stop talking to about the people who support idiocy in this country.
Okay, Brandy says, side note, I'm from Virginia. Yay, Cinco is not going to move to California weather. You don't think so? I don't know. It's more hot in Virginia, correct?
As far as I know.
So, I mean, California weather is like perfect all the time. It's always, 70 to 85 degrees every day?
There's sometimes in California where it's cold. Like, I've been there in April, and I've gone to the beach, and I was, like, dying. Like,
it's not always hot.
Yeah, it's not always hot. It's very, like, you know, they don't have seasons like we do on the East Coast where, you know, we got our fall, our leaves turn, you know, and then we get snow. But, you know, it's not always, like, 100 degrees.
No.
Virginia gets definitely hotter, probably more like, you know, from about May or June to on, it gets hot.
Yeah. So maybe she's saying that, like, you know, it's so hot there all the time that he wouldn't want it to be 7 degrees or like 50 degrees. Like,
I think it had to do more with Cinco's business, because that's what she said. She's like, he has his business here, but he's gonna open up a new one in California. And I think more it would probably have to do with that. And then his family's on the East Coast, but he also said he's lived in Houston, he's lived in Minnesota. I don't see him, if he really wants to make the move, he'll make the move.
Yes, he will. Hi, Netha. How are you?
Did you see that they also said they're going to start a YouTube channel together?
Well, Cash said she was going to start one, and he said that she's like, and he can come and be on, like, we can do it together. But she's like, I definitely have a lot of things to say, and I talk a lot. So
yeah. And then he said, he's like, oh, I didn't plan on starting a YouTube, but I'll post on hers definitely. So I was like, they're starting a YouTube channel together.
I love it. I love it. Love it all. I'm probably really behind all these comments. I started watching the live, but haven't seen a lot of it. Well, if you want to wait, I'm going to post the full version of that. I didn't know that it wasn't in snippets, so we can get that up to later on today. And then the full, how long is the full thing?
One piece is 140, and the other piece was like another 20 minutes. So it's like a 2-hour live. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll probably still post it in 2 parts, but like, yeah. Or actually, all together. I could.
Yeah.
I can, edit that. So, okay, I thought that I heard Tamika's voice in the background, but wasn't sure. Didn't watch the Monday episode. You weren't in the background, I don't think.
I don't think so. I like, first of all, I was watching the entire thing, and then I was typing, but I don't think it was taking my entire, like, room. It was just the thing, the screen.
Exactly. But one thing though that like I saw you typing and laughing because I was watching it at one point on my phone, and it was when they were talking about the toothache, and she said that she actually had to have a tooth extracted, and then somebody in the comments, I don't exactly remember the wording, was like, "Cinco, don't you want a woman with a full set of teeth?"
And I love, that's what I'm saying. Cash was still herself. She was dying laughing. She pinned the comment to her live because she thought it was so funny. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Because that's what she's like, I can't believe you're coming for me for my teeth. Like, and she just kept on going on about it. That was like what literally made me laugh out loud. For sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love anybody that subscribes, of course, but I do love anybody that participates in the chat because you guys are amazing. I can only imagine how excited you two were watching that live. Loved it. Yeah, we're so excited that like we haven't even started talking about this episode yet.
So,
we can jump in a little bit. You know, Charlie starts off by thanking the group, and Olivia wanted to make it clear that they were voting for Elena to stay, not for you, Charlie. And so she definitely wasn't making him feel that welcome. I was like, thank you, Olivia. Happy with that.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I wanted. Him to know that, no, we did not care about you, and be the Islanders to be like, no, we don't care about you. So you're not winning this thing.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Sam. It was funny when Ash talked about how Cinco found Cinco's Durag. Oh, yes, because like she lost it, and she was just like.
And the way that Wes and Cinco were talking about it, it's just like they were coming across so like blackmail to me. They were mad about it that she had lost it, and she was like she found it, but it was somebody had put it on Charlie's desk.
Yeah, and then Charlie about it, and he's like, "No, it's not mine." Like,
yeah, and then she's doing it.
It's kind of like you know, someone's having an affair and they find like the panties of the woman in the bed or something like that. Like it just felt very much like, oh my god, the other man's do-rag. I thought it was just hilarious that we're like the do-rag has an integral part of the story this season, which is so different. Very cool.
Very funny.
I mean, the lavender do-rag of last season was a bit of a thing too, with Sadie and Johnny. Yes, he did cook for Cinco and Cache. His father likes them together for sure. I mean, she's a great person, and I can't imagine any parents not wanting their son to be with her. Tamika, I've watched the live. It makes me happy to see all of them, but it's clear Cinco is a vibe. That's their new how they want to be known as. Their new symbol is a sign $5.
$5. It's either cash 5 or $5. Like how are we supposed to say it?
$5. I'm like, it seems so low, but I think it's catchy.
Yes, it is. It'll be hilarious.
$5. You changed my mind. I think she would have left then. I still don't think she would have left, but you definitely have. I can see that perspective a little bit more, and so I'm not as 100% being like, no, she would have stayed for sure.
Yeah.
I have a little bit more malleableness in like my belief around that now. Wes and Giovanni did say if Charlie was really into her. Oh, did they say?
Wes and Giovanni did say if Charlie was really into her, he would have put in more effort, and that's all we've been saying. Yep. That's all we've been saying.
Why do people like not want to see that though? It's so funny. People are hilarious in that. She called him her man 100 times last night. Yes. I love both of them. I love Cinco and Cash, and I love Wes and Amy. Like they both need to stay together forever and get married and happily have a wedding.
But this is the thing that we saw from the beginning. I think that just their potential to be like the awesomest couple. And unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. They got interrupted. I'm starting to feel like it's probably more fortunately, because I feel like now that they're away from the cameras, they can actually build a proper relationship off camera.
Well, this is what I think is that so Casa Amor is like in there to like test the relationship so they know if they're going to be able to last in the outside world. I think all of their entire Love Island experience was their Casa Amor, testing the relationship. They're, trying things with other people, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, not having the timing be right. And then they leave the villa now and the timing can be right. So I'm hoping that it was very fortunate the way the things that went down, because who knows if they had gotten together in the villa, maybe he would be thinking like, oh, maybe I want to test something else with Leslie, or he might hurt her in a way where he really doesn't want to, but because of the circumstances of the villa, his temptation might happen. Who knows? So I do think how it happened was perfect for them to be able to start something.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, CJ. Thanks for joining us. Okay, did we see how Cinco would at times just look at her? Yes.
That's what I kept saying. All these people on Twitter are like, he's not really into her. He was more into Trina than he was into her. And I'm like, were we watching the same live? And I watched it a couple times. I watched it a couple times last night.
No thing yet, guys. Just so you know. Tamika over here.
I'm like, what? Nah.
Cinco said he felt some kind of way leaving his girl there with Charlie.
Yeah, he's been saying that. That's what I'm saying. I would feel different if he didn't drop things. He was keeping stuff close to the vest, which is what I was saying. Like, he was being a little like close of what he wanted to happen, but you could tell just from some of his conversations that he wanted her out to him, to come back to him. And I think once he found out that, I think for both of them, once she left, it was like a divine intervention thing.
Yeah, it had to happen this way, because I don't know if she actually would, say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to find anybody here, I'm leaving. I don't know if she'd actually do that. No. Even if she's saying after the fact that she would have left, I don't know if she actually would have left.
Yeah.
This was an easier way to be like, okay, I'm gonna go get my man. And so I do think it was divine in that way that Charlie didn't want her, so that the timing would work out perfectly, right? They see each other in the setup from Love Island, and they have their little thing, and then talking about hey, I have a layover for 2 hours. And then him driving over, and then she just doesn't have an apartment right now. Everything's in storage. So she can stay freely with him indefinitely. They can make their plans of what they want to do, what they don't want to do. And so that's pretty, that's in alignment.
That's what I said. That's what I said even on their live. I said sometimes God just does things for a reason. And even if their relationship is just for the season, God does things for a reason, and I think that they at least was to get this chance to be together with no obstacles.
Yeah, just you know what? We're just gonna go hang out for a little bit because we do have a vibe. I do like being with you, and now we don't have everybody else trying to break us apart or tempting us or there's none of this. There's no pressure of the money. It's just we can just
no more games. Yeah, pretty much.
Netha is it's so funny how no one in the comments is actually talking about the show. I mean, I'm also leading us here and I'm not talking about the show very much either, but that was very important that happened yesterday. That was really what the Paramount episode should have been. It's just somebody should be if it were me, I'd be hey guys, we have some exclusive rights to your content, maybe for the first, say, week or two you're out of the house. So anytime you post, it also gets posted to I don't know, some sort of live stream through Paramount Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
You know how many people would watch that?
Yeah. So on Married at First Sight, they have Married at First Sight couples cam, which is self-shot. And then they have a whole show revolving around us just watching the couples that stay together on a show. And some people don't watch it. I watch it because I like to see what they're doing. And you know, they have, some of them have kids now, so it's cute to see them doing that stuff. But that's what I'm saying. They are wasting they are wasting a lot. Even if they had done it last season, especially if we were still in quarantine, just like all that stuff, that behind the scenes stuff that was happening with Justine and Caleb and all that stuff, Johnny and Sally, imagine how much money would have been made.
So much. I think they're just confused because it's like, it's not our concept. We don't know what to do with this. It doesn't make sense to us. We want to produce everything. It's like, no, we want raw footage. We want to see these people. We like them. We want to watch them. We don't want these contrived circumstances with people we don't want to watch. CBS? Jeez Louise. All right, what else happened though in this episode to get back here? So Corey compares Olivia to Sarah Palin, to like a politician or a governor, I think he said. And then they were joking about her being like Sarah Palin because she's from Alaska, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm assuming from this, quote, like, I can see Russia from my house. I couldn't believe, though, that Corey was like, really? Like, wait, sorry, what, Corey? I can see Russia from my house.
Corey is silly. We all know this. Corey ain't too bright.
So they go off and have a little bit of a chat, and they just talk about, like, I'm so excited to, like, get to know, and we'll have this time to, like, get to know each other better, and, like,
and I'm sitting there like, you guys are acting as if y'all are in love, and now today you're still saying that you're still trying to build a connection, and you're glad to see that we see what you guys might become, and like, stop it, stop lying.
I don't really care, like, about you guys as a couple. I'm sorry, guys. Like, you might still win. You know, Cash thinks that they're going to win, but she hasn't really seen all the responses to everybody yet. So I don't know if she would still have that stance once she looks like at the Twitter, at Reddit, at Facebook. Like,
I think it was based on, too, she said when she came out and then she was talking to Cinco, and then also like from what she was reading, and then I guess like talking to her family about the Will and Kara situation, that everybody's saying like, nah, they ain't real. He liked Flo better than he likes Kara. They're like, and then, you know, to like find out, oh, they might have known each other before, so this might be a game. I think that's also why she's also not saying it's Will and Kara, because just from the feedback that what she's getting from everybody else.
Oh man, they were just in the bottom, but like, they need to have another experience of being in the bottom again, without Shannon being there for like Will to go and try to like put the blame on. Elena and Charlie have a talk, and she thinks that they have a better connection than Trina and Andre. I'm like,
oh my god, she pissed me off. I was like, listen, I am liking Alana less and less every day. Like, there is no reason for her to be doing, she keeps saying shady shit about Cash, and then now like what she said about Trina and Andre. I'm like, based off of what? You even said you didn't think that the man was gonna pick you. So where in this that you think that you and Charlie have a better vibe than Andre and Trina? Because I don't feel that way. I don't see it. I think if anything, y'all are either tied, or to me, Andre and Trina have a better sexual chemistry, potential for sexual chemistry, than you two do.
I mean, I'm enjoying, personally, it could be because I'm kind of like, I'm not interested in Charlie at all. So like, I'm not vibing with him and them kissing. Like, I'm just like not into it. So I like how Trina is around Andre. She's light. She's like having a good time, in a good mood, laughing. Like, she's just in good spirits, and I'm enjoying watching that couple. Even if they're just in a friendship couple, I find it more interesting and more palatable than the Alanas and Charlie. Okay, so this is interesting, Chads. Okay, she says Kira and Giovanni before the DM'd Giovanni before the show as well. She was doing research on everyone. That's why everyone went off on Will and Kira, because people feel they're doing this for the money. Well, we know that's doing it for the money. We got
And that
that.
she had scoped out the villa because she remember she lived in Hawaii, so she knew the area. And people, I guess, were like thinking on dating apps to see who was in the area, that kind of stuff. So you know, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Yes, so this is the one. It was a courtesy of Tamika, but it's sent in parts, and so we'll put the whole thing up. I'll put it up later on today. But thanks for watching. Like I haven't finished watching the whole thing, which I'm gonna go probably watch after this. I'm more excited to watch that than Laid Bare Paramount Plus drop. Like, who cares? But I'll watch that for sure. Yeah, we hope Kira and Will don't win, but I don't know. They might though. They might.
They might. They have a lot of supporters.
Why can some people believe that a dark-skinned man would be into beautiful chocolate queen like Cachet? I'm tired of the haters, and that's what it is. It's the haters. It's the people that. Go ahead.
It's a lot of internal work that like Black people need to do within themselves, and then it's just racism, like especially in America. And I know people don't want to believe that some people are inherently racist, but if you watch documentaries, because I grew up in a Jamaican household, so in Jamaica the culture is not racist forward, right? It's classist forward. So money. So you know, my father used to show me all this stuff about the civil rights movement, and you know, tell me about things that they went through in America. He didn't experience that stuff. He didn't come to the States until 5 years before I was born. So he didn't experience that stuff, but just watching documentaries and learning about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, those are things that he taught to me. But even then, I didn't understand it until I watched certain documentaries for myself, where they built in racist things into advertising and marketing, which is why I actually started my company, Entertainment in Color, because we don't get the promotion or the promotional work, or even when we are on a show that's a big show, we don't get promoted on the show as much. You see it, that Katie got promoted to The Bachelorette, and there was like 8 women of color ahead of her that should have probably gotten instead of her. And then we see it through her season that her season was terrible because she really shouldn't have gotten it. So that's why I started my company, because I want to promote these people. And I know that people of color don't always believe in following people on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, or they don't know that certain people are doing certain projects. And so that is what we're seeing in these shows, these little microcosm of America, where people are so used to those hierarchies, those embedded biases in America, that they don't know how else to react.
100%. And like as an actor, I experience it all over the place. People not knowing that they have, even in language. You know, you say that your family's from Jamaica. So is my mom's from Jamaica. My dad was born in England. My grandparents were born in Antigua and Montserrat. So like we never had a direct relation to, you know, the slave trade, like of the United States. So obviously I've understood it because like I've studied it, but
Right.
it's not something that's a direct link from my family lineage to have like that kind of understanding. But even, you know, in Canada, which is where I am, they say like they'll think that they're being politically correct by saying African Canadian, and I'm like, or they'll say an African Canadian accent, and I'm like, well, that's actually not a thing. Like, like, am I from Africa? Like, and like I live in Canada, or my parents are directly from Africa. What do you mean by that? What they actually mean is to have, you know, kind of like the Southern African American vernacular English. That type of sound is what they're looking for, usually, but they think that they're being politically correct by saying African Canadian. And I'm just like, or African Canadian accent. I'm just like, man, like, you're lucky that I don't get offended by a lot of things, but this is pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something I did get offended by in this particular episode, and I want to know, since you say, well, not you said, but you just said that you're from Jamaica,
Mhm.
the fact that Charlie, so he made Alana breakfast, okay? And I was like, wow, he never made a breakfast once for Miss Cachet, never brought her like a glass of water or a tea, nothing. And he's supposed to be here for her, but he makes Alana breakfast, and she loves avocado toast. And he said he doesn't like avocado. I don't know if I can trust him. Like, I have avocado with everything. My mom calls it pear.
Pear, yeah. Yeah.
And like,
Jamaican.
I have pear with every single meal.
Yeah.
Like, it's not guacamole. It's a
Yeah.
pear with my meal. And so the fact that he doesn't like avocado, I was like, I don't know.
I think because again, I love avocado, and when I was younger, it was the same thing. We like every Sunday we would have dinner, and there would be a big old pear, and we'd have it with our meal. And now I chop up avocado, throw it in my eggs, make a scramble. My kids don't eat avocado.
Wow.
Yeah, and I eat it often.
That's interesting. Like
So
my twin niece and nephew, they love avocado. They call it cado. It's like cado.
yeah. So I think it's just different tastes, but and also I think also younger American children like.
It's fine, but I'm just like I people always come for me because like I'm not like black enough. Well, I know that I'm supposed to have freaking avocado with my food. Like that is so ingrained in me. And so when he said, I mean, they're obviously different culture. I don't know what his actual background is. I don't know how he grew up or whatever. But it's just something that's so like Afrocentric to me or black to me, or like, it's just something that I'm like, you don't like avocado. It's kind of like if you're from Mexico and you don't like avocado or guacamole or something like that. You just be like, what? Like, how do you know you don't like that?
That's funny.
Anyways, I'm just like teasing. He can like whatever he likes, but I was definitely like side-eyeing him when he said that he doesn't like avocado. I'm like, what? Okay, who do we want and who do you need? Sorry. I thought you were asking a question. Can definitely differ. Absolutely. And I really hope that Cinco and Cassius allow each other to want and need each other. I'm wishing the best for them, and I'm loving this exploration. It's great. Exactly. I don't know how many people keep doubling every man's intentions going into. Yeah, like I just really can't stand Charlie. I don't think I can ever get over it. Ever. Hi, Dana. Did you hear that Cinco said that Trina was still flirting with him and tried to kiss him? What?
Yeah. She yeah, he said that. But she also kissed him this shouldn't be news because she also kissed him during the striptease challenge, and she also said when Cash was leaving, she still has feelings for him, but she wants Cash to be happy, and if Cinco was going to make her happy, she would rather her be with him. I don't know how Trina's going to feel coming out the villa. And like I said, I think at this point, she's more than likely leaving alone. So I kind of want her to win the money because I feel like maybe that'll be a little solace for her because she definitely did not find love. But I also don't think she went about things the correct way. But
Alexandra, like I have said, there's been 3 occasions that I remember where I chuckled at something that Jeremy said. So the fact that even people that we think are funny find him funny. So they're not showing us his good bits. I don't know why the editors don't want us to think that Jeremy's funny if they're going to keep saving him.
Jenny, I think it was Jenny or Isabel, said that the reason they think that they don't show a lot of Jeremy's jokes is because they're not kosher enough for TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of jokes is he making now?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But everybody that has come out has said that he is funny. He's a very funny guy. And the only person who has said that he's not there genuinely for the right reasons is Cash. And that's why I love her. But she also says she loves the man, but she's like, he's not there for the right reasons. So.
Well, speaking of Jeremy, him and Bailey have a conversation, and she's just like, "You're just so hard to read," and he's just like, I don't know what is he doing. Like, you wanted this girl, you're gonna go and compete for her with Corey. You got this girl. She's into you, or is willing to invest some time in getting to know you, and you just like stare at her blankly. Like, why are you here?
I don't know. I don't know why Jeremy's still here.
Text about.
Did you get in when they were having the conversation with Giovanni about why Giovanni was dumped instead of Jeremy?
Yeah, it's pretty much what we speculated. I wouldn't be surprised if also it was heavy-handed by the producers. They're not going to say that out loud. I'm sure
right.
To explain how much the producers have influence. But she basically said that she wanted to keep either Wes or you or Giovanni, and that some of the girls was like, no, not Wes, because like he hadn't been talking to anybody else, only kind of had his eyes on Amy, and so like there's no reason for him to stay because like they haven't built anything. And then for Giovanni, she's like, I tried, but they didn't think that you were going to be able to find love in the villa, and I was one person versus 3, and they made me read it because none of them could read it. I was like, that's also them throwing you under the bus. And I think
how rude was that? Like, I was so mad on her behalf, but I also knew it. I knew that's exactly the scenario. I also agreed that I do think when she said, I don't have as much pull as you think I do, I also think that also was a production thing. But, yeah, exactly. But I was so mad that they made her read it, and it wasn't even her decision.
Yeah, so they usually make, from what I've noticed, people read it that would give the most impact, that it would be the most dramatic. So if it was somebody that like they were exes at one point, the ex would read it or something like that. So I assumed that they felt it would be maximum drama, that Cash reading it would stir up the most drama, with it being Giovanni said that she's sending home. But if it was, say, I don't know who'd cause the most drama with Jeremy. Maybe nobody. He doesn't have a storyline with anybody for it to be like a lot of drama. Anyways, so I've got a text happens, and it's going to be for the Hideaway, and they all decide to let Jeremy. Not Jeremy. What's his name? Corey. And Olivia to go to the Hideaway. And they didn't show this in the episode, but in like the preview of the Hideaway, he like bangs on the wall and he's like, oh, is this soundproof? And I was like, really? You're doing a soundproof check? Like, you're really going to get it on? And then they didn't end up sleeping together. So I thought it was interesting that he was curious about it being soundproof, but then it didn't matter.
Yeah. They and even when they came out of the villa, all the guys were like, we heard you out of the Hideaway. The guys were like, we heard you guys. And I was laughing. I said, this was the stuff of nightmares. I did not want to see these people going into the Hideaway.
Of like, seeing Olivia and Corey in the Hideaway.
I couldn't really watch it. I was like ignoring it. The only part that stood out to me was when they broke the Hideaway and the little the light fell off the bed. But otherwise, I was just like, I can't watch this because I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Dana says, I like Josh and Shannon more now, especially after seeing them on After the Island. You could get through it, Dana? I haven't watched it yet, but I just find the hosts boring. So I haven't, like, even though I want to see their guests, I haven't been that wanting to watch it. So
yeah.
Wes and Amy don't believe the Olivia Corey thing is genuine. I believe them. Because
no. So Wes doesn't, get this straight, Wes does not believe them. Amy knows that they were flirting. Amy knows that she already told Giovanni that Corey and Olivia was a thing while he was still in the villa. So it's not that she doesn't believe that. what she's saying is, did they really get as far as they're trying to portray it? What that's why she asked the Cash the question, because she knows where they were when they left, right? And she knows that they were flirting, but Florida was there. So she asked Cash, was it real? Like, did they really like go through the motions to get to where we're seeing on TV? And Cash explained how they got there. Wes does not believe it at all, and I'm with Wes.
Well, and I think that Amy's just being a little bit generous because she's friends with Olivia. But Wes, he kind of is a no bullshitter. He says it like it is. When he's a Gemini, right? Geminis sometimes they put their foot in their mouths because like they just say too much. Them and Sagittarius always blurt out things that they might not want to say or mean to say. So I think that Wes is probably bang on with his assessments. And he's just like, yeah, I don't believe that. And she's like, well, like, I could see this, and this, but if Wes doesn't believe it, I don't think it's true. I think that he is correct with this particular assessment.
Yeah.
Same. So the girl, go ahead.
I said same.
Girl chat. So they didn't have sex, and like she's like, oh, he really, really likes me. He really, really respects me, and like fair, but it seemed like she was convincing herself of something to me. You know, like
I think they tried to pull a Karen Will that, oh, they did other things, and that they stopped there because how much friends they are, and they, you know, respect each other. And again, just like Karen Will, I don't believe either relationship is real.
See, yeah, I think that if they ended up sleeping together, they would kind of be at the point of no return, and like it could get messy. One person could like each other more than the other person. Like, it just they couldn't be doing it. I just don't think that they're into each other that way, even though they're pretending like they are. I don't feel it with them. I don't feel it with, I feel it with Kira. I think Kira is super infatuated with Will. But I just don't see them together at all. But he really respects Olivia. He does.
Yeah.
So I put in capitals, he made Elena breakfast, which is funny. They talk about how did you sleep? And she's like a baby. I'm like, whatever, Alana. And then that's what I wrote down as well. Like, he doesn't like avocado. That's a problem. So Kira really wanted to go to the hideaway. She probably would have given it up just because, like, I think she wants to make sure that he's, like, you know, really wrapped into whatever vibe that they're having. And I don't think it would matter to him. Like, I think that he would still, like, not make her his girlfriend, even if they went to the hideaway and had sex. But she was happy for Corey and Olivia, of course, but she really wanted to have the hideaway for them too. And he asked, like, did you like the breakfast that I made for you? And I feel like everything he says is just to remind her, like, how amazing of a guy that he is. And it's like, I know you're not that amazing, but why do you have to point out all the amazing things that you do? Is it for her? Is it for America? Like, why? America?
For America. Especially based on what the conversation last night. I think everything is America forward. I really didn't listen to the conversation as much because just it was just coming off as false. But again, what I'm getting from him is that he wants to have his cake and eat it too, because even if you watch on Love Island UK, right? I'm sorry if this is a spoiler to anybody.
I haven't watched yesterday's yet, so don't tell me.
Oh, dang it.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me yet. I literally, like, because I had to have a conversation, and it ran late, so I haven't watched it yet, and I want to watch it. I'm watching it right after this, and then going live.
Okay.
Is it a big spoiler? Or?
It's not a big spoiler. It's just it's a conversation of where a couple heads to, right? But I won't tell you, or I'll tell you, and I won't tell you who. So one of the couples becomes more exclusive.
Oh,
but not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I've seen that. That's Millie and Liam.
Okay, so why can't Will do that?
Get that promise ring out, you know?
Yeah, exactly. If he says that they're exclusive and they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, that still cuts him off from any other girl coming at him after the island. right? And so I just feel like he's playing the game. He's
He
playing the
doesn't
game.
want
I don't
to
see it.
locked up. Like he,
No, I don't think he does.
know that he's open to maybe exploring things because they're not in a relationship. They're not exclusive. They're not only dating each other.
Right.
I
And then
go ahead.
And then the guys last night said that they think he didn't choose Flo. Amy and Wes said, "Do you think it was for the game?" And Cash and Cinco said, "No, they don't think it was for the game." And remember, Cinco's his bestie. They said because he didn't want to be portrayed as a bad guy to America, basically going someplace else. But Giovanni pointed out that Flo told him that Will wanted things to be more serious. So I think what it was is because Flo could not promise him that she wanted to be like boyfriend and girlfriend right then and there, I don't think he wanted to turn his head for a relationship that may not, that may have been a fly by night and not work out, kind of like a Cash and Charlie kind of thing. And then he basically be out the game totally.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. We kind of always said that like he chose Kira because he wants to go to the end with Kira and he knows that she will stay with him. And if the longest couple that's like overcome Casa Amor, like they have a more likelihood of winning the game than the uncertainty of Flo and him just still like figuring things out. And we know that how you got him is how you lose him. Like maybe that a little bit creeped in, and so that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that I need to see a cam on Kira when she leaves the island. I need to see how she reacts to the response from him.
Well, did you see the preview for this episode coming? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be, I think we're going to see a little bit of the cracks start chipping away at them. I don't see them lasting.
Oh, no. Not after the show. Hi, Kim Burritos. You've only been watching Love Island commentary. Thank you for your service. No, thank you for being here and giving us a reason to come and talk to you about people's Instagram lives. People care. It's so funny. Amy was not holding back in the live. She was spilling all the tea. I love Amy. I love all those people so much.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
So somebody was like, don't they have contracts? What happened? Because last season we didn't get none of this. These people came out and they were all PG. They couldn't say nothing. No, and blah 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 blah. And I don't even think all those people are as much friends as these people are. But they were spilling the tea last night.
Yes, they were. I don't know if it's because they had a couple of glasses of wine and a beer and some other cocktails. Maybe they're just a little bit Lucy.
Cash was drunk. Truthfully, Cash was drunk, but it's okay. I love her. I absolutely love her.
So Amy was not feeling Kira and Will knowing each other prior to the show. Yeah. I didn't see that part. So what was her reaction?
So what she was saying is she said Kira and her had the same chaperone, and on the chaperone's phone she saw Kira's Instagram, and so she knows that Kira, will like some of Kira's stuff, blah, 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 blah. But she was saying that it wasn't fair because they did all these things, and I keep trying to tell people, they have chaperones. They separate everybody. You're not allowed to look at each other when y'all are going anywhere, going to the gym or going outside your room. You're locked up in your room. She's like, they do all this stuff to make us get stuck into our rooms and, don't look if somebody accidentally almost comes out of their room or whatever. And she's like, it's not fair to us that we had to do all of that work. And then you sat there before the show and planned out how you're going to do this because you knew certain people were going to be on the show. And I agree with her because that's my problem with it. My problem is them not knowing not them knowing each other, because there's been plenty of people who come on the show that's known each other, but they did not stage this so that they could potentially win the game by holding themselves up as the perfect couple because they had an instant connection. But I think what we're going to see is the show is going to level things out so that we see the cracks with Will and Kira. I don't know if the Islanders will vote for Will and Kira to go into to the final, and they might feel betrayed by that. But again, I feel like Olivia and Corey are playing a game at this point, and you're not going to want to bring what you think is the strongest couple to the finale. You're going to want to bring the couple that you could probably win against into the finale.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jenna explained that the blowout she had with Will made her look like she was popping off for no reason, but Will apparently said some nasty things to her. Production is shady how they edit certain people. I can see how they would do that. Make Will
Yeah,
look like,
I can see that.
poor Will. Like, how could she be so mean? Then he cries after, and I'm like, man, it's so manipulative.
Mm-mm.
Hi, Crystal. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I feel like there's more we don't know, but Cash is so open-minded that people might take advantage of her. I do think so. I think that she
I agree.
took advantage of her kindness. She even mentioned it in the show, being like, because she's so forgiving that people take advantage of her, and so she does. That does happen.
But I'm going to tell you, she's out of the villa. She is home now. She has her own set of friends. She has her own set of family. She has a big brother who seems to be really protective of her. Guys, you got to let her just be friends with who she's going to. And I said this about Justine last season, and I'm going to say it again. You guys just got to let her be friends, be with the guy that she wants to be with. If something is going to come out, something's going to happen. Truth is going to be named when Olivia comes out of the villa, she will see it. Trust me, because that's what happened with Justine and Lauren. Remember, Lauren was all of Justine's butt after all the crap that she talked about her and Caleb, and then all of a sudden, she said some nasty stuff about Sally and some other people, and everybody just cut her off. And meanwhile, people continuously say stuff about Sally and Justine's relationship. And the only person to me who has cut off Caleb, kept it moving, and been on Justine's side since day one is Sally. So that's a bond that I don't think is going to be able to be broken unless there's like an absolute trust breaking between them. And that's not going to be something that you guys keep saying, Sally's this, Sally's that, Sally's this, Sally's that. Don't be friends with her. That's not going to happen.
Oh, like Sally's leading Justine down a path of like her not being a genuine person. It's like, who are you to decide who Justine should and should not be friends with? Like, you are friends with the people that you vibe with. Like, that's just how it is, that you get along, that you enjoy their company, that you laugh at the same jokes. Like, that's who you become friends with. So
Right.
for the audience to not particularly like Sally, but they like Justine, how can they dictate who you should be friends with? You don't know what the vibe is.
Right.
Yes, a Cinco or dollars, cash 5, cash 6. I don't know. It's $5 a little bit, but they are really cute junk. I like them even if I don't know how to call their name. So I agree with you, Shiana. Olivia is not the fakest, but one of the fakest Islanders. But she 100% doesn't like Corey. Like, how she's trying to sell that hideaway after, I was just like, you could have been talking about like having a blow up doll in there, and like it's like I felt it more with if you were talking about like nobody. I think Cash may change her mind when she sees the show back and about Olivia and others, maybe. But I think he still does want to see the good in people, so I don't know if she will.
She doesn't think of them as friends, though, guys. Like, she thinks of them as family. And for most people, you don't just throw away your family just because they either said something nasty or had a disagreement or, like, did something that you think that is wrong. You keep them in your life and you keep it moving. So I don't necessarily think that that's always going to be the truth, that she's going to not be friends with these people. Like, she's going to move to LA. Olivia might stay in Alaska. That doesn't mean that they won't be friends. They just might not always hang out. And that might be what's for the best, because maybe Olivia and her shouldn't be, always together.
100%. So Will seems to care more about how he looks to the public. Check. Exactly. Hi, Allie. So, yeah, Faker. I guess we are supposed to believe him like Kira and not our lying eyes. I know. No, like this is
It's so plain to see it. Like I don't. When some of these people are like, "Oh my God, they're so cute," and this, and I'm like, what are you guys looking at?
but I guess like when these people say like, oh, you see the world through rose-colored glasses, we do see the world from our experiences. So we're both older, so we've had a lot of other life experiences.
That's
So
true.
we can call out on like, oh, certain behavior is reminiscent of some sort of other behavior that we've seen before in the past. So we are picking up with a little bit of more knowledge of potential warning signs that she may not have any reference towards because she's super young. This might be her first time being like, oh my God, that, like, say 10 years from now, she's like, I remember when I was 25 or 24, I was in a relationship with this guy and I couldn't see at all that he was completely manipulating me. But like, obviously I can see that now. I can see all the red flags, but back then I couldn't see the red flags because they didn't exist yet. So
this is true. This is very, very true. That's stuff that even I was with my ex-husband from the time I was 18. We got married at 26. Just the amount of life experience I've had since that period of time, it's just, even then I'm like, oh my gosh, like what I wanted in a relationship and what I wanted from a person, I would never want now. Never want it in my relationship with a person now.
Exactly. So I'm going to give Kira a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that age is not allowing her to see Will
Right.
for who we seem to be seeing it very clearly, because she just doesn't have the life experience to recognize these like warning signs until she sees it in her face.
Yeah, and at best, that's if she's not faking it in totality with him, right?
No, I think she's really into Will.
I think she's really into him too. I really do. Like even, and that's why I keep trying to tell people. I really do think Kara is really into him. I really do think that maybe she planned this out, that this was what it was gonna be like, when she got in there. But I really do think she's into him. I don't think he's into her. But they already, like, the game is the game for for him, and he's going to go through it. But I really do think that whatever research, or I don't think they were dating before this. I think they knew of each other because they had the same management. They had same friends. He liked a few Instagram posts. I'm sure they live 15 minutes away from each other. They're in the same industry. They knew of each other. So I think that's the basis of what they had. I don't think it's that they were boyfriend and girlfriend and came on this show. So that is a totally different conversation, but it's still not right for them to be coming on here to stage a relationship for us to believe into the end of the show.
Yeah, to give them 50 grand or 100
Right.
grand. Okay, but only the season 2 girls are cool with Calvin, but Connor and Justine are friends. I mean, Calvin,
Everybody,
they did not like Calvin.
I said, but everybody's still friends with Caleb. So it's what did Calvin do exactly to anybody? And he's still friends with Caleb and everybody else. Calvin. I think Connor is still friends with most of them. I'm trying to think. Trey, there's no reason to be friends with Trey. Like, he said nasty things about Justine. Like, there would be no reason to be friends with him. Jaden, a lot of people didn't like the way he's the Isaiah of this season. I don't think a lot of people like.
Sex appeal, not gonna lie.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think who else was on the show. The one Moira was coupled up with James. He he said nasty things when he came out of the show, and nobody, like, Moira and Calvin are not friends. He, as soon as he came out of the island, he unfriended her on Instagram, and they're not friends. I think most of them are friends with Carrington, but yeah, so it's like everybody's choosing who they're going to be friends, and I feel like this cast is more like stuck together than last season.
Well, I think also like the show didn't go the way it was supposed to go. These people should have all still been in the villa till the end, right? That's the show that should have happened, and then we'd be like, oh my god, which couple actually is going to win, right? Like, because like, oh my god, these are like real relationships, and they're all different. They had their ups and downs, but they found each other. Like, this is who I want to vote for. Like, you can still bring in Will and Kira, and you can bring in Shannon the mix it all, but I want to see those 4 couples in the final 4. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So did you hear Cash when she said the couple she thought should have made to the end? Did you catch that part?
I might have. I don't remember right now though.
So she was saying her and Cinco, Will and Kira, Shannon and Josh, and Corey and Olivia. Yeah.
Oh, and Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wishful thinking. She just likes Olivia, but like I don't think that their relationship is stronger than Will and Amy's. So Divine Me is giving me an education here. Cinco or Dollar.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Wes and Amy, like the final 5 couples. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I think that Corey and Olivia should be in that top 5. But,
yeah. I don't think anybody believes that, but and Middle America.
Like no. So it's just long to say Cash Cinco. I get like the symbol of it all is like fun to write and to type and to know what we're talking about. But like I kind of, if we're gonna make a couple name, I do like Casinco or Casino, or whatever you want to call it.
I like Casino. I didn't like Cashco, and Casinco isn't bad. I liked Casino though.
But Cash Cinco, like to say that is too long.
Yeah.
Shorten it. So
yeah,
that's all I was saying. Divine Me. So I'm just going to finish up quickly with the rest of this episode. So Andre and the girls ask Trina whether or not what her game plan was for the day, and she was going to go and kind of get to know Andre a little bit. So they decided to do some 21 questions, and he learns a little bit about like him being in love 2 times and that he's had 2 really long-term relationships. Obviously the one that was married. I didn't fully listen to this whole conversation, but I thought it was a good conversation to have, deepening the relationship.
Yeah. The only thing is you could tell she's still being a little closed off, but I can understand why.
Absolutely. And then there's an impromptu truth or dare game, which I didn't pay attention to, and I don't think that there was anything else after that. I just kind of tuned out.
I think somebody said it in the comments. There was like a what do you call it? That a comment from Olivia about, because they were like unfiltered, what was something that you guys did in the hideaway, and she's like, oh well, she tried to filter it, and they're like, no, that's still filtered. So she said she had to use her toothbrush as soon as she got out of the hideaway.
Oh, you bring your toothbrush to the hideaway?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't, because she did come in and say, oh, I need to brush my teeth, and I was like, why didn't you go brush his teeth instead of coming into the room in the first place? I don't know. It was annoying. And then they dared Trina to kiss Andre like he was leaving forever, and she made him like get on the ground and like make out with him. He's like that every time they make out, she gets like the lipstick all over him. It's like never fails. I don't know. I think they're cute, even if they don't work out. So I'm fine with it.
Why was Charlie on the ground on all fours? What was the dare?
Oh, they made him. That was his dare. They made him act like a big cat.
Oh,
like kind of continuing what happened with him and Ellie. Yeah,
I don't really know how to do that very well though. I was like, I couldn't, because I had the volume down, and I was like, what is he doing? I couldn't tell that he was acting like a cat.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for the episode. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about with the lives or with like what's going to be happening tonight?
I'm trying to think of what happened. Like I said, we'll put up the live, but if I had set a what do you call it, reminder in my, if you follow me at Entertainment in Color, I set a reminder in my stories for when Cash was going to take over BuzzFeed Celebrity today. So I'm going to keep trying to do stuff like that as we get like more content from them, takeovers, lives, whatever. If they tell us beforehand, I will put in my stories like a reminder, so that way you guys will know. Oh, you'll get a ping in your Instagram to go to wherever, because sometimes a lot of things keep happening and we're not able to go and do them all or remember all. But yeah, so I still have to watch the Shannon and Josh After the Island. I didn't get to see that. I think I talked about the Florida and Giovanni live I watched the other day. I want to know what Florida thinks about last night with the Hideaway. I can't wait to find out. She did say that she didn't care what he did in there. Like she'll get with him when he comes out. So.
I mean, she can't, I don't think she can hold anything against him at this point. They're not together. She didn't choose him when it mattered. So,
right. I think they talked about that. I think they did talk about it on the live, about her talking about that she wanted Wes and Amy were talking about how Florida wanted Corey, and they were like, I understand you didn't choose him in the first place. What are you talking about? And you like big old kiss it. Like, I think everybody is confused by what she's saying coming out of the villa, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I do want to see though what she has to say. Absolutely. But you guys, I love hearing all that you had to say here today in this live. We did talk about the whole episode, but there was actually nothing that happened this episode. So I'm so happy that we had that awesome content we got to talk about. We got to see our favorite couples and favorite Islanders or ex-Islanders, just doing their thing, living life, being good vibes, good times. So happy that you guys still joined us to discuss Love Island that we love so much. Well, the people outside of the island. And we'll do our best to see if we can do a recording of the BuzzFeed, if we can. The takeover is starting in about 10 minutes, so we'll see if we can get that recorded.
No, it should have already done it. It's just stories that they posted on there. So lazy.
I thought it was it was a whole day takeover. Never mind. So we can go back and stories. I'll compile them maybe, and I'll put them into a video, and I'll post that video as well if you guys aren't able to go and check out those stories. And you'll find us back here tomorrow. We might be a little bit late just because I have a course beforehand. I'm not sure if it's going to go longer, so we might be a little bit late, but we should be within the hour of 3. We should be going live. Tamika's already let us know where we can find her at Entertainment in Color. Definitely go find her there because I'm always I look at her story. I'm like, okay, good to know. And I take notes too. And so thank you for doing your homework for me, Tamika. You're almost like my social media manager here at
I think tomorrow, Justine and Sully will have a bunch of interviews on their podcasts. So I definitely know Cinco's come out. No, that's what I need. I'm every time I listen to their podcast, I'm like, this is so good, but I want to see them. I wish they would do it in person instead of these people. But I think they did Cinco last week. They did Cash's interview yesterday, but I don't know if it's going to be on tomorrow. And then I think they were supposed to do Shannon and Josh as well. So we'll see what comes out tomorrow when they air their episode.
Yay! I mean, I'm loving all this after the island content, the real stuff. It's way more interesting, CBS. Sorry. And please subscribe to Reality Realnesss with 3 S's. We're just trying to build a community of people that love talking about Love Island and are willing to watch the stories of ex-Islanders because we love them so much. So we love all of you. Yes, see you later. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I will get that other video up so that you guys can see the full length of the awesomeness of the dumped Islanders, the dumped Islander Chronicles, we'll call them. Till tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Love you, Tamika. Thank you.